it's fairly unlikely, but I guess we'll see. Circuit Breaker is this the map where he beat Tyson? Or started coming back against Tyson? Basically, Mind played a PvT against Tyson in round 32 and actually lost the game. Actually, did he lose 2 games? Hold on, I gotta check this now. I can't remember. He lost at least 1 game to Tyson, possibly 2. I can't remember. Hold on. Yeah, no, he did lose the first series. Okay, but he won the game on Circuit Breaker. Okay, so I think I vaguely remember that correctly. Yeah, so hold on, let me give Bisu a point here and do the positions first. Yeah, so Mind played a best of 3 TVP against Tyson and lost the first game, won the second game, which was, I believe, on Circuit Breaker, or actually it might have been on Electric Circuit. No, that's my bad. No, it wasn't on Electric Circuit. We have actually changed maps here for the round 16 best of 3s. So I mean, it's the same tile set, and it's confusing, but it was on Electric Circuit, or was it? I don't know. Anyway, something happened, but Mind lost to Tyson, and that's bad. That's very bad. So yeah, I mean, and Bisu obviously is just a whole nother level above Tyson, but hopefully Mind isn't practicing. And also, Bisu, despite completely destroying his round of 32 group, did not play C in that group. He instead beat, I believe, Ample and then Jaehoon, and never actually played C. And recently in the Sonic Pro League tournament thing, Bisu actually came out to play against C in, I think, the ace match. Well, it's not really an ace match. It was the final match of their clan war, and he lost. He lost. I didn't actually see that game. According to Epoxide in the preview, it was a bit strange, and Bisu lost a Nexus to Marines or something, which is kind of weird. But you know, he lost to C. Now, Mind is not the same caliber as C either, I don't think. Although I don't think he's too far. He's been performing decently well since coming into the Sospo scene. I actually haven't seen that many games from him. I keep hearing people say he's, like, you know, playing pretty well and stuff, but all I really saw was that he lost to Tyson, and that was about it. I mean, he's still here in the round of 16, but losing to Tyson? Dubious. Highly dubious. Anyway, we got a bit of a hidden second pylon here. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. In fact, I think that doesn't mean anything at all here because because of that location. He's not going to proxy anything there. It just wouldn't make any sense. Might as well just put it in his main. That's just there to scare the turn a little bit. So if an SCV got into the pro space right now, Mind would realize that a second pylon was missing and then perhaps freak out a little bit and think about proxies because Bisu has already proxied him. And it looks like we actually have a second SCV here from Mind. I don't think this is too common to send 2 SCVs in TVP, but he's going to do it just in case. And he's going to get in here to the main, unless, no, the Goon's not actually quite back fast enough, although the probe actually does a cool little block. And you see, the SCV only sees 1 pylon here. I think I heard the Korean comments actually just say that, but you see, the second pylon is missing. So this is actually a fairly common thing for Protosses to do in this matchup because it doesn't really cost you anything to build a second pylon with your scouting probe in just a random location. And it just keeps the turn on his toes. Now you can see Mind is checking. He's looking. He's like, okay, is there going to be a proxy Reaver? You know, is there going to be some hidden DT tech or something? He's not sure. He's got to check. He's going to be a little bit scared. Might play a little bit safe. But in reality, Bisu is just 1 gate expanding. I think the best thing that this could do for Bisu is if Mind just like plays really passively now and doesn't actually realize it's a fast Nexus and, you know, doesn't actually move out. I mean, I really feel like Mind shouldn't overreact or anything. He is a very experienced player. He should know that a missing second pylon, yes, it can mean a proxy, but more often than not, it's no big deal. And if the second SCV actually gets in and sees a Nexus, that would confirm it. Although it looks like, ooh, nice little block here. It's not going to get in range, is it? Nope, not in vision range of the Nexus. So he is not sure. No, it was! Wow, never mind. Okay, we just got a first-person view shot from Mind's perspective. Alright, apparently he did see the Nexus. It didn't look envisioned to me, but I don't know, I guess it was. Man, that first-person view, it is pretty handy. Anyway, a couple of goons from Bisu just poking out in the front. Just keeping, well, basically their job is to do something like this and keep that Vulture back. In the meantime, just a normal FD here from Mind. Played defensively here, just laying mines at the front, not actually moving out just yet. But since he saw the Nexus, he probably should though, right? Because if you see the Nexus there, it's, you know, it's a 1-gate expand. I don't know why he doesn't feel like he can put any pressure on. Looks like he's just going to move out with the Vultures, leave the Marines in the tank at home to defend. I guess he just doesn't want to risk anything because, of course, Bisu has some pretty godly micro here. So if Mind does push out and make a mistake, he could just instantly lose the game. And, ooh, I guess that's another reason not to go too crazy with the initial units, is that he's getting a very quick third command center. You can see that's off of just a single factory, he's already getting a third, which is very, very fast. Now, Circuit Breaker does sort of allow this, not quite as nice as Fighting Spirit is for this kind of thing, but certainly very good. You can see the natural here behind these two bridges is very defensible. The mineral-only third is not quite as much. It is under a low-ground platform, but it's not the widest platform in the world, so, you know, if you just lay some mines at the top and you just have a decent enough position, you can sort of hold it. Of course, the top side is also has a ramp leading up there, but I think if Bisu were to attack the third, it would almost certainly be from the high ground. And in the meantime, we have a Citadel of a Dune. I guess this means 2 base Arbiters here. That's a little bit too early, I think, to be getting Zealot leg speed. And Templars don't really make too much sense at this timing. I mean, he's probably going to get 2 DTs first and then go for the Arbiters and just use the DTs to just run around and be annoying. Maybe draw out some scans if you can. And now the Observer's going to come over here and see this command center. Does that turret block the command center? I hope it doesn't. It looks quite close though. Okay, no, it doesn't block. It's literally pixel perfect there, just touching. And we do see the Stargate there, so it is in fact going to be 2 base Arbiter. And then we have the third Nexus here at the mineral only. Now, last game I mentioned that Bisu taking a mineral only there doesn't quite matter for what he was doing because he wasn't really rushing for tech like carries or anything like that. If you go 2 base Arbiter though, that is a fairly gas heavy build. Especially because he's also getting the obs as well. He didn't actually skip a robo. He got the robo for obs, and he's going for the arbiters. So he's going to be a little bit short on gas here for a while. You know, as a result of this, we might see his army composition lean a little bit more heavily towards zealots. Have you know, fewer dragoons, and we can actually see he's not really moving out with any dragoons just yet. Possibly showing that. He's got basically a lower goon count. Otherwise, normally you would start to see him kind of do what he did earlier and just move around with a few goons, kind of push vultures back and clear spider mines and that sort of thing. Anyway, looks like he is going out now, and oh, he might catch a vulture here. Oh, he's gonna get 2. He's gonna catch 2 vultures, so that's good. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that is quite important as well. You know, once you have a few goons, you know you're safe from crazy vulture run bys into your natural, into your main, and that sort of thing. Then you can start moving around on the map, clearing some mines, keeping a bit of presence. Now, I mention this every time there's a PvT on this map, but notice that they are in horizontal positions, and this is actually a good example. Ooh, wow, we're going to have a double ob suicide run past the turret. Very, very cute move. Oh, is it going to work though? Ooh! 1 shot left on that obs, but it does get through the turret ring, and that's going to mean he's going to have, excuse me, a complete scout of the Terran main because Mind built all of his turrets on the perimeter to block this sort of thing, and has no turrets in the main. So Bisu pulling a very cute trick there and managing to go in. Meanwhile, he is going to get another base here at the 3 o'clock. Does want to stay a base ahead of the Terran player. Mind is going to see that with these vultures. Not sure if he saw the probe there, but seeing some goons there, he'll know that it's very likely that Bisu's going in there. Now, I think, oh yeah, so what I was talking about earlier, so in horizontal positions, you can see like the distance between their mineral onlys, between their third bases right now, is so short, And if Mind just like pushes along through the 12 o'clock base, it's going to be very difficult for Bisu to actually stop that. You can't really flank that position or anything like that. So Bisu either has to, well, his only option really would be to counterattack. Unless he has an overwhelming force and can take the Terran head on, which is very, very difficult. He doesn't have the option to try and get a good position and flank it. He would just have to kind of backstab and try and draw the forces back. I mean, obviously going for the 2BS already, he could also do something like a big recall in the main to keep the forces back. But engaging this attack head on is going to be a little bit difficult. Although Mind is actually moving out with relatively few forces here. This makes me a little bit nervous, especially the lack of vultures here. It's just almost entirely siege tanks, but it looks like he's not going too aggressive. He's actually just establishing a bit of a position on the low ground and just gonna start building some buildings there. He might even think about just expanding there to the 12 o'clock position, even though it might seem kind of crazy with how close it is to the Protoss. This is exactly the kind of thing that Terran actually wants to do in this matchup when they're going mech. As you can see, not only is he going to get... Oh, he actually has the command center already. Wow, I didn't realize he'd already built the command center. But yeah, he's just going to float that over. It looks like we actually got +1 attack already done for the Protoss. That's actually quite quick, in fact. Bisu must have gotten that straight away as soon as he got his third. But Bisu just going to go expand down here to the bottom right. This is a very interesting progression of the game here with Bisu being very, very passive. I don't know if he actually saw that fast 4th command center. But Bisu, look at this, he's double expanding down to the bottom right. I mean, this is like playing a no-rush 20 game right here. There's been effectively no attack from either player. And I don't quite know how well this is going to work for Bisu, because Mind now is establishing a position at the 12 o'clock, and I mean, he's basically almost in siege range from his 12 o'clock base to Bisu's mineral only. Now, that mineral only isn't the most important base in the world, so even if Bisu does lose that, it's not a huge deal, but from losing that, the push path towards Bisu's natural is, again, fairly short and easy. Maybe Bisu's plan here is just to try and be really greedy and just, set up a whole bunch of bases. He actually, he's canceled the bottom right main, though, so seems to have changed his mind about the double expand. But I'm just curious to see how he's going to deal with the inevitable push along the top side of the map. I guess he's just going to rely on having some great spell usage, some good recall, good stasis and storms and whatnot. Looks like he is going for a recall now. Is Mind prepared for it? See, this is the kind of move he has to be making basically now before Mind actually just macros up enough to go for the big push. Bisu needs to slow him down and stop him very, very soon. Looks like there are some turrets here, not very many mines, but there are a couple of Goliaths are coming down now, and Mind is going to see it with the engineering bay. He does have a decent number of turrets. I'm not sure the recall is going to be successful. He could just go for the natural here, but there are some units already, and there's the recall into the natural. Not that many units, and there are a lot of Terran units waiting. Mind pulling back a few more tanks now. I don't really see this being overly effective. He's going to get a few unit kills, a few SCV kills, but not really worth it, I don't think. Wow, those goons is completely melting. Oh man, that was definitely not worth it for the recall. He did kill a handful of SCVs, but that was a decent number of units there. That must have been 30 to 40 supply worth of units. In the meantime, looks like the probe has gone back down to the bottom right to get something. Bisu's remacroed a lot of zealots. I mean, I guess it slowed down the Terran a little bit. I'm not sure. It's funny because the SCV count there at the natural looked quite low after the recall, but I'm not convinced that there were many SCVs there in the first place. So I don't think it's that he got like a million kills. I just don't think there was anything there. Now those zealots are actually not being grouped with the rest of the army, so I think he might go for some kind of big zealot recall, a big zealot bomb on top of some tanks, which is always very, very fun to see. Although I don't see another arbiter flying around just yet. I'm sure there is one somewhere, but it probably needs to recharge a little bit of energy. In the meantime, looks like some Voltra is going to head down to the bottom right here to try and see what they can do. Just lay some mines in the path of the army to stop that from chasing. And yeah, they're just going to run past these cannons down here to the main where the cannons haven't finished yet. And this is incredibly annoying for Bisu. Probably going to have to cancel these cannons at the very least. But he's going to get his goons down in time to at least save the Nexus. And that's taken care of, but these handful of vultures are really nothing for Mind. He's completely fine with this. He's actually hidden a portion of the vultures at the bottom left of that base and let the rest die to the goons. So if Bisu's not paying attention, he might forget that the rest of the vultures are there, and the vultures can go back and keep harassing. If you notice on the minimap, there's still a tiny red blip at the bottom left of that main. I don't think Bisu notices, and oh my god, there could be a huge mine hit. Woo, no, not quite. Anyway, Bisu has a ton of zealots, not that many goons it seems though. I did mention earlier that his goon count would suffer from the gas-heavy Arbiter opening that he did along with getting observers, but by this point he should have enough gas to get some more goons there, so I guess he's just deciding to go a little bit more zealot heavy or something. It's funny, I actually was watching Shuttle play a game, I think in the Pro League, yeah, it was in the Sonic Pro League match recently. I think he played against Light on Sniper Ridge, and he also went for a very zealot heavy composition. You know, like 2/3 zealot and 1/3 goon, and it was pretty funny to watch. Anyway, we have a recall here at the 12 o'clock. This looks like it's going to be slightly more effective. Going to force a lift on the command center, kill some SCVs, kill a couple of units. And it doesn't look like he actually recalled that many goons this time, and losing zealots is much better than losing goons in these things anyway. Bisu's also attacking into the main army with a small group of forces. He was hoping to catch the Terran unsieged and unprepared, and he did. Unfortunately, even though the Terran was completely unprepared, he just had more units, so it just ended up not working anyway. Terran actually just had enough that he didn't really care. And ooh, a recall grabs the Arbiter there. Oh man, the Arbiter slowed down. It looks like it was about to cast a spell, but didn't quite get it off. Arbiters do actually seem like always slow down to a stop before casting the spell, so there's a slight delay where the Terran has an opportunity to actually EMP them. And see, this is what I was talking about. Bisu completely forgot about these vultures. I'm very surprised by this. I thought Bisu would be, you know, an experienced enough player to check the bottom left of the main, but he isn't, and that's costing him here. Losing a bunch of probes, forced to pull them again. These vultures are going to clean up. He's fortunate that he had these gateways here, and the few zealots were already produced there, so he's going to clean that up fairly quickly. But could you imagine if those zealots weren't there? That would have cost him a lot of mining time. So, I mean, that's just a small sort of thing that was very good. A nice move by Mind. A lot of Terran players do that regularly, so I was a little bit surprised Bisu didn't actually check down there. But anyway, Bisu, looking with a relatively small army. He's got a couple of High Templars hanging back, but look at how gigantic this Terran army looks. I mean, Bisu appears to be in some serious trouble here, even though the Terran's not sieged. Okay, there's a bit of a late siege up. I don't know if it's going to matter, although this could be a crucial zealot bomb here on the tanks. Oh man, a lot of splash damage, but it's just not nearly enough. More zealots coming in, but they're going to get obliterated by the Terran army. Yeah, Bisu is in full retreat now. Mind is looking in seriously good shape in this second game. And this is very interesting to me because Mind actually is making some similar, I'm not sure if they're even necessarily mistakes, but in his game against Tyson, he had a lot of weird situations where he would just basically A-move tanks and not siege them up, and you know, even though he won his second game against Tyson, he almost threw it away by like suiciding a control group of tanks by A-moving them into goons. And again, as we saw just there, he had a lot of his tanks unsieged, possibly because he was caught out of position, but he seems to be very brazen with just A-moving his Terran mech army around the map, which is generally not a good idea, especially in TVP. But for the time being, it looks like Mind is gonna force this to a game 3. Huh. Anyway, a bit of a counterattack here at the 9 o'clock. Mind is sieging down the Nashville. Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't call it a game yet because Bisu does have the second gateway farm in the bottom right. I completely just seem to have overlooked this. So, you know, it's not a great situation for Bisu. He did lose the big the first big engagement, which is very, very important in the dynamic of the PvT. He lost it quite severely. And so he's kind of in this weird spot, and you can see Mind doing the correct thing here, splitting off a couple of tanks to kill this expansion. So 3 o'clock is gone, the Nashville is gone, the main Protoss army is gone, and Bisu's actually, oh my god, he hasn't fixed his rally point, oh my god! Bisu, I'm pretty sure that wasn't intentional. It might have been to do a mind drag, but I'm like 95% sure that was not on purpose. That was just his rally points, which were not fixed, which again is very curious to me. That's sort of a fundamental thing when your natural's getting siege down like that. You just immediately re-rally all the gateways in your main to inside your main instead of to your natural. So a few small mistakes here and there for Bisu. A little bit uncharacteristic for him. Anyway, he's now sending out an army from the bottom right, but he's going in piecemeal. I don't think this is the correct move here, even though, again, the Terran army isn't in position, no mines, no siege. there just weren't enough units here. Bisu should have tried to pull back, buy a little bit more time, I think, and then maybe regroup with some units from elsewhere. Although, having said that, he doesn't really have any other units to group with. Ideally, in that situation, you would have units coming out from the natural as well, but he did just suicide them all in that bad rally point, so I guess that wasn't even a possibility. Either way, mind, I can't believe he's taking this long game against Bisu. And funnily enough, it never even actually came down to pushing along the top side. Mind actually just moved out through the middle of the map, crushed Bisu in the middle of the map, and that was basically that. So, well, Bisu is now going to lose these bottom right bases. He's not leaving the game yet, but I highly doubt he's going to come back. Looks like he's finally going to break out of his natural. He's got 4 Arbiters here. I'm not sure how much energy they have, but if he keeps clumping them up like that, none of them are going to have any energy once they get EMP'd. And it looks like a couple more units. And see, now this is better. You see, he's got a few zealots coming out the front. He's got some army coming in the back. Unfortunately, not quite enough. But GG from Bisu. And Mind takes game number 2 and forces a deciding game 3 on Sniper Ridge, I believe. It's no longer Fighting Spirit. Is it Sniper? Yes, it's Sniper Ridge. Okay. So, oh no, oh god, the jacket's coming off. Oh shit, shit just got real. Bisu has taken off his jacket, and suddenly his APM doubles. See that? He was just playing with Mind there. Oh man, it's like it's like he's revealed that he was actually just handicapping himself this whole time with that big jacket.